Hello and welcome back to Bannerlord and Byron's Adventures. We're going to be fighting this massive army of ASERAI in the beginning of this episode here, and hopefully we will be able to eliminate them and severely weaken the amount of vassals that they have at their disposal. Ooh, we seem to be in a pretty bad... Oh no. This is bad. This is not a good place to be. This is really not a good place to be. Okay. I am not entirely sure how I'm supposed to do anything on this particular battlefield. I am, I suppose, just going to pepper them as much as I possibly can with a huge amount of arrows, and we'll see how that goes, because as it stands right now, this is a bad position to be in. I was not expecting this. At any rate, I was really not expecting it. So I guess I will just have to allow my forces just to fire. And I will be telling my cavalry and my horse archers to charge in, even though that is not going to really work out in my favor, in my opinion. So yeah, this is actually bad. Really, really bad. If only, you know, if only I didn't have this kind of situation, I would be in a much better one if we were on a proper battlefield. But unfortunately, that will not be the case today. So I guess I will just have to stab them many times, and hopefully that will then result in a nice victory for us. As you can see, though, the power level seems to be quite very much in our favor right now, which is surprising, to say the least. I really thought that we were going to have, well, a lot of problems with this large army. Bear in mind that there are a number of vassals nearby as well, and those vassals are, of course, going to be attempting to join this army as well. So that was the main reason why I actually headed in here to begin with, because I really didn't want to have a situation where this massive army is you know, completed and is then able to launch massive assaults against a variety of different fiefs that we have in the area. So I'm hopeful that we will be able to try and fight them off as best we can. And it seems like it's actually going quite well so far. As you can see from the power levels, it seems like we haven't really lost too many, if any at all, really. I mean, how many have we lost? 27, actually. Yes, I think. 27? Isn't that ours? Yeah, 27, that is ours. And I've lost about 12 of my own units, which is not really a big deal. For some reason, my stabs are not really doing that much damage at this point, probably because I don't have a huge amount of speed. And, you know, generally, spears do need the speed to be able to do the damages. And unfortunately, I'm not on a mount anyway, so it is making things a little bit slower for us. Anyway, I'm going to tell everyone to charge in now. We can probably rush the last remaining units. And hopefully we'll do quite well. I am losing a couple of heavy horse archers here, which is obviously not exactly great. But bear in mind that we are charging a huge amount of archers here, and they can do quite a bit. Oh, ouch. Wow, we got headshot. Did you see that? Oh yeah, Byron was not pleased about that. Not pleased about that one bit, but you can see here the line. Just look at the line of bodies. These guys charged straight on into us, and they just had no answer for what we were capable of, which is fantastic, because there you go. That's a victory. 168 renown and 98 influence. Pretty nice. And we also gained a little bit of gold there. I'm thinking we might want to try and release a couple of people. As I've said before, I think maybe releasing people might make sense. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look. Okay, so this guy is the leader. Yeah, so I'm going to basically do this thing where I will be taking everyone prisoner with the exception of the clan leaders. So if I find someone that is not a clan leader, then I'll take them prisoner. But if they are a clan leader, then I will let them go. That seems to be a pretty decent way of doing things, because then at the very least I will have more opportunities to persuade them in the future to maybe join us. That's the kind of thing that I'm thinking we'll do at this point. So yeah, huge amount of vassals though. Do you see how many they actually have there? Wow, pretty crazy. Anyway, let's see. Let's take some ASERAI archers, because I am, well, actually doing quite well in terms of the amount of people that we're leveling up, and a lot of people are ending up joining us as well from our efforts to persuade them, which is quite nice, gotta say. And we can take some... Let's just take some mounted ASERAI units. Because if we're going to be fighting them for quite some time, then it would make sense for us to take their cavalry. Because as I've said, I do want to switch back to a cavalry focus, but it is just a matter of fact that I really am going to need as many units as possible to pull off a lot of different sieges in the area. Because if I don't do that, I'm going to get murdered by the garrison itself, because the garrison is just going to sally out, and then they're going to be like, oh, we have over 1,000 units against your 200, and it's just not really going to work as it should, in my opinion. But there you go. That's generally the plan at this point. And hopefully I will be able to do something about it. There we go. All right, fantastic. We got a good amount of troops leveled up, good amount of people taken prisoner, huge amounts of loot to be taken, and we still have 10 days worth of food, which is not bad. I think it is okay, but it is not something that I am very pleased about at the moment. I personally feel like it could be a lot better. So let's just hope that we don't have anyone deciding to defect, you know? Because if they decide to defect, we are going to be in a really, really bad way. Ooh, these guys are both leaders of their clan. I would like to be able to speak to them, please. I'm going to wait until I'm at about 25% HP, I think, before I catch up to this guy, because as you can see, I am actually faster than him, amazingly enough, even though he has, you know, severely reduced numbers. Anyway, we're almost there. 25%, almost. There you go. All right, so that should be fine, because basically what I want to have happen here... Oh, yeah, I should have actually attacked him, because now he's disorganized. He's not disorganized any further. Oh, well, that is my bad. I mean, the main reason why I wanted to wait is pretty obviously because I didn't want to have my charm skill not be active, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, that was kind of unfortunate. Would have liked to have persuaded him potentially, but oh well. Anyway, oh, look at that. Arrow flight speed plus 3%, damage 7%, nearby troops get 10% accuracy. Gonna go for Howling Bolt. That sounds like a really, really fun skill. And it should be working. I'm not entirely sure if Community Patch actually fixes that, but if it does, then great. If it doesn't, then, well, you know, whatever the case, that's fine. Okay, so these guys aren't wanting to besiege this. What do they have? What do they have in their army? They have Master Archers, they have Mamluk Soldiers, they have 276 ASERAI recruits. Personally, I feel like we should be able to defeat these guys as long as it's on an open battlefield. If it's on an open battlefield, I think we might have a good opportunity here. Now, let me actually just take a quick look. Who do we... Okay, so we still have these two guys. Literally, this is all we have. Amazing, isn't it? Okay, well, hopefully neither one of them will leave. They both have one fief, and Kareth has been with us for a very significant amount of time. So I'm very much hoping that he will stick by us, at least for the near future. And you can quite clearly see that we should have a decent shot at expanding at this point. Because if we can just go down here, maybe take the castle, maybe take the town over here, then I can give these two fiefs to some of our vassals, and then they might be a little bit happier, and so on. So we can only hope and cross our fingers that he's going to stick with us, or that they're both going to stick with us, basically. Okay. These villages are not very good for me. I'd like to go to that village and maybe buy some grain if at all possible, because I only have how many days? I have 8 days remaining. That's not good. That is not good, but I guess we'll just see what we can do. All right, so here we go. This is the situation. They attempted to besiege this. I actually went over to this village to buy some grain because we kind of needed it. And as you can no doubt tell from this massive arrow here, Unkid decided to go and besiege Myzea, potentially. And I thought, oh, okay, that's great. That means that I can basically leave the castle and I don't have to worry about him. But then he turned around immediately because he's an AI, and they're annoying like that, and he decided to besiege this. And so I am going to attempt to attack him and hopefully achieve victory. If we can achieve victory here, this is going to be one of the greatest victories that we've had. I know I say that actually every single time we go up against a really, really large army, but this is probably one of the most I don't know. It's basically a do or die situation here. Because if we are in a situation where enemies are coming at us and we just don't have any vassals remaining because it's just me, then we're not going to be able to do anything pretty much. And that's going to be bad. That's going to be a hugely, hugely bad situation to be in. But if we can just do something here, just a little bit of something, just to try and weaken the ASERAI enough so that we might be able to, you know, get a fief or two, then that is going to be so good for us. It really is going to be so good. Hopefully we'll be able to make it happen. I am getting shot dramatically by a huge amount of people around here, which I'm not a big fan of, thank you very much. So, yeah, this might be harsh. Let's tell my cavalry and horse archers to charge in. I am very low in HP. Definitely not something I wanted, but something I'm going to have to deal with now. So, guess we'll just see what I can do. There's a lot of enemies over there. Wow. This is a huge amount of enemies. My horse archers are going to go around in a circle, which is obviously great. But unfortunately, I'm not doing that much damage, as you can see. And I'm actually running into enemy cavalry, which is certainly not good either. They have a lot of low-tier units, which is pretty fantastic for us. And as you can no doubt see, there's a lot of people running away from us right now, which is actually fantastic. Whoa, that damage. Oh yeah, that damage. That was insane. Okay, so maybe we can get some more of that. Thank you. And let me see if I can get someone. Yep. Oh, that was very close. Did you see that? I almost basically ran in and killed myself by impaling myself on one of their spears and things. That happens very, very often, especially to someone that is running this fast on a mount. It really makes a huge difference, your general overall speed. All right, so I think what I'm going to do, am I at 25% HP or am I not? I don't know. So I'm going to be retreating here, and I'm doing this for, well, obvious reasons. I would like to be able to, I'm at 24% HP. I can still go in. Okay, I can still go in. That is exactly what we want to do. So I'm thinking what we will potentially decide is, shall we leave, restore my HP a little bit, and then go back in? Or shall we go back in straight away and take him down? I think I'm going to leave. This is the safe option because, let's face it, I will probably be able to outrun this guy. He's got many more units than I do. And if he decides to besiege this again, that would be a huge mistake on his part. We have 5 days remaining. I'm going to wait until the next day, basically, and then we'll go in. And we should probably level up a couple of people as well. I'm being very careful here, and that's the point. You know, generally, as I've said before, Bannerlord and in general Mount and Blade as a whole is a very slow burn game. So if you're not into that, then it's probably best you go elsewhere for games, because you're not ever going to get instant satisfaction anywhere in this game. You know, you might get it eventually, but it's, as I said, it's a very slow burn. It's much more of a marathon than a sprint, and you know, that's kind of how I'm attempting to play, as I can try to be as best careful and efficient as I possibly can be. Because if I'm not, and I make a mistake, I'm dead, and I can't really do much about it. So anyway, we're going to go in now, and we will be facing him in battle, because I'm at about 60% or something like that, so I think that's pretty good. Don't really like this battlefield. I had a really nice battlefield before, but unfortunately this one is not my favorite. But we are going to just stick with it. I know you can retreat and you can go back in and you might be able to get a different one, but I'm just going to roll with what the game gives me, because that's, well, the most realistic, I guess. And we are going to be prepared for the enemy. Are they going to come towards me? They are, actually. As you can see, they are actually coming towards me. That is a mistake. That is a huge mistake on their part. If I was them right now in this situation, even though I had the numbers advantage, I would literally just stay where I was and just let the enemy come to me. Because if you do that, you have the home court advantage, so to speak. And it's going to be so easy for you to deal with any kind of attack. Bear in mind that I am actually going to be in a bit of a dangerous situation here right now, so I'm actually going to tell my cavalry to charge in so that they can deal with the enemy's cavalry, and hopefully my archers will also be able to deal with them a little bit as well. Yeah, so now here comes the opponent. We've got to be very careful here now as well because of the heals. Heals are very powerful in this game to make cavalry into the worst, slowest possible units in the game. So we should be a bit careful about that. Okay, here we go. Got to be a bit careful here as well, because they're going to run into my wall of infantry. But you've got to be careful still. Even now, you've got to be careful. Even if you think you have an overwhelming advantage, it is always a good idea to push that advantage as much as you possibly can. And it doesn't matter whether you're outnumbering the opponent by 1,000. You've just always got to be careful, especially in this kind of situation, because you don't want to end up losing too many units for nothing. You know, the value of each unit is still extremely important. It doesn't matter whether, as I say, it doesn't matter whether you think you're going to win by a drastic margin. Like, I think I'm going to do okay here, you know? I think I'm going to do okay, but I do want to make sure that I am not in a position where I lose, I don't know, 50, 100 units, because those 50, 100 units, they're kind of difficult for me to get back at this point, because I'm going to have to go back to one of my garrisons, going to have to pull them out from there, going to have to recruit some people from villages, from towns, from all over the place, and it's just not going to be advantageous to my current position. And so that's what I'm basically looking out for at this point. Let's tell my infantry and archers to charge in now. I think we should have a pretty decent time now. And hopefully I'll be able to eliminate this guy. Or not. Oh, there we go. Oh, never mind. It's actually one of the enemy lords. Oh, that's fantastic. Very good. Let's try and eliminate a lot of these archers. I'm going to get shot, by the way. I think I'm going to die here. Or maybe not. No? Okay. I'm actually really surprised. Thought I was going to die there. Really did. Because I was in and amongst a whole bunch of enemy units, and they're pretty accurate sometimes. They can be quite dangerous. And I believe that is in... That was funny. Okay, yeah. I believe that is indeed a victory for us. So we are just going to speed it up. And as you can see, we lost a grand total of about 25 to the Grim Reaper, which I think is pretty good, considering we were outnumbered. And yeah, my units will swarm them. But you can see exactly where most of the fighting took place. And I gotta say, I really love the bird's eye view that they end up giving you at the end here as well. It's really nice to see just where the carnage happened. But there you go, 208 renown, 126 influence, and 25 morale. We obviously don't need the morale at all. Okay, so we're gonna continue doing that thing that I said we're gonna do, which is, of course, taking a look at who is the clan leader and who isn't. I think this is a clan leader. Yes, he is. All right, so I will be letting him go. And we will see if I can potentially persuade him to join us at a later time. Okay, so Gudun is the leader of this one, so we will... I mean, technically I could gain even more relation with the clan by letting all of these guys go, but I don't really want to do that in that situation, because then they're going to just have the same exact power as they did beforehand, and I'm going to be in the same position that I was, which is really not very good. So... generally, just taking them all prisoner with the exception of the clan leaders is, in my opinion, the safest option. And let's have a look. Okay, yeah, that guy is part of that clan as well. All right. And then we have Unkid. Yeah, so now I'm actually not sure what I should do with him, because he is a clan leader, but he's kind of annoying. You know, I'm just going to take him prisoner. All right. So, now we can take a whole bunch of prisoners. Well, actually, maybe not, because we might not have the capacity for them. Alright, so there we go. We now have 173 plus 13 wounded in our prisoner's hold, and I will be taking all of the wonderful loot. And then we have Ekerand, who is right here, amazingly enough. So, there you go. a very, very strong victory for us. Now we are in a bit of a spot of bother here because, well, I'm not entirely sure what to do because I would love to be able to take this castle potentially, so I suppose that's what we're going to do. But I do need to make a brief stopover at one of these villages and maybe buy some food because at the moment, as you can no doubt tell, I will not have enough food to last for an entire siege. And, well, hopefully I will after going to the village here, you know? That's going to be kind of good for us. Let's actually just take a quick look because I am getting another notification about my party here. 1 Imperial Trained Archer. Ah, very nice. Yeah, it's very good. Okay, thanks very much for that. Anyway, yeah, so if I wanted to, what I could do is I could go full evil here. And I could literally just go and execute every single vassal that I was able to take prisoner in that battle. And that would make things much easier. It would. It would. It would make things much easier for eliminating that one faction. But, on the other hand, it would then make it very difficult for us to deal with pretty much everyone else. So, yeah, it's a double-edged sword, you know? It's a double-edged sword, literally almost. Except it's an executioner's axe, of course. So let's see what I can do about getting some food here. They don't have that much, so it's a bit difficult, especially considering I'm spending 7,500. I mean, you know what? I could technically sell some stuff here. Can I do this? Yeah, look at that. Okay, sure. Perfectly fine with that, and I guess we're gaining some money, which I suppose is not really necessary. I mean, we have 500,000, but I think that in general, having as much money as you can potentially hold, especially when there are so many negotiations to do, is probably a good idea. And yeah, we'll just continue onward. Oh, Godun has been ransomed from us already? Wow, that's kind of harsh, but he is the leader of his clan, so I suppose that's a pretty good idea. Wow. There's a huge amount of food here. Wow, this is fantastic. That's really, really good. Okay, so yeah, I'm just going to basically take all of this, and we will then be selling absolutely everything, and selling all of this. There we go. And I will now get 68,000. Oh yeah, there we go. That's what we like to see. All right, so now I'm going to go over to this castle here, because this is going to be our first sort of foothold in true ASERAI territory, because as you can no doubt tell, well, it's kind of a bit split up with the thanks to the Crusade there, which is not exactly great. It seems like Barnabas is constantly getting himself taken prisoner. Should probably tell him to just abandon his party, to be honest. That would probably make the most sense at this point. But anyway, I'm gonna build some onagers here, and we'll see what we can do. I almost have the ability to literally just do an auto-resolve and just take them out really, really fast, but as we've seen, that is very wasteful. How was Godun able to escape from the garrison here? Was he actually in the garrison? Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. Well, we'll see what they can come up with to potentially defend against us. Alright, so unfortunately we have a situation on our hands here. Yeah, again, I am not able to move the camera while I'm in the siege. So unfortunately I can't show you, but I think maybe if I look in this distance, I can maybe see it. Well, no, it doesn't seem to be working. But anyway, the point is we're currently in a situation. There is an army besieging the castle that we just took in the previous episode. I'm not a big fan of that, so I will be heading on over there as soon as I possibly can to try and defend. But unfortunately, as you can no doubt see, the enemy's catapults are mysteriously really, really effective. And I actually had to build a second set of onagers just literally because I was worried that they would be very effective. And as a result, yeah, they are actually extremely good. And they have been able to destroy quite a few of my onagers that I've built. Even the secondary ones as well. Even the backups have been taking massive damage. So very annoyed at that, actually. I'm not entirely sure how they're even able to do that, to be honest. But yeah, they are. They are, somehow. So there is that. Anyway, I'm just going to build these things as well, just because. You never know. Okay, come on now. Let's do this. I don't know where the other guy's army is, so he might not even be... he might not even be able to take it. Oh, no, never mind, never mind. As you can see, look at that. Yes, they were able to take it, but it has now been besieged by Ekarand. Hopefully he will be able to take it back. And speaking of Barnabas, I'm going to be disbanding... Wait a minute. I was actually wanting to disband his party, but apparently he doesn't have a party? Okay, that's a little weird. I guess it might take him a little bit of time to recuperate or something. Maybe that is required. But anyway, we've almost got the walls down here, and hopefully Saruk's army, the guy that actually took the castle, will come over here and say hi. That would be nice, potentially. Okay, there we go. We've gotten them all down. Let's lead the assault and see if we can do something. And it seems like someone actually was taken prisoner just now. Did you see that in the messages before we headed in here? I think maybe... Oh, ransomed. Yes, not exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for captures, please, not ransoms. But oh well, never mind. I guess that's just how it goes sometimes. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing that I did last time, and this seems to be the exact same layout, which is kind of weird. Exact same layout for this castle as it was for the other one. And we're going to see if I can maybe do a little bit of damage with my bow here. I mean, you can see here that they actually... Oh, they've actually got some really nice vantage points. Not a big fan of that, thank you. Let me see if I can maybe do some damage. Oh, nice. There we go. Well, so far, so good. We're actually doing very nicely indeed. Unfortunately, it seems like my forces are taking a bit of time to get in here, but obviously I have multiple entry points because I did build a couple of siege towers and a battering ram. I don't think the battering ram is really required to get in here, to be honest, but it's always nice just to have an option, you know, give the option to do that. Okay, so let's just do some damage. There we go. Not bad. Ow. This guy means business. Well, you know what? I mean business as well, sir, and I am about to die against you. That would be hilarious, wouldn't it? You know, I'm actually just going to retreat out of here real quick. Do they really want to chase after Byron this badly? No, I thought not. I thought not. I'm going to get out my bow, and you're going to try and shoot me with your thrown weapons, but I'm going to shoot you in the back like the honorable fellow I am. Yes. The most honorable of actions, shooting the fellow in the back, isn't it? Okay, so now we can shoot these guys. I'm going for the headshot on this shimmying guy, but he's just shaking all over the place. But I believe that is indeed it. A lovely victory for us with only 6 casualties sustained, and I think I still have a decent amount of food remaining, but as I said, needing a lot of food for this kind of battle is required. I mean, you're not going to be able to do this without food. It really makes a huge difference. And it does actually make, I would say, probably more of a difference than it used to in Warband. Because Warband was more of a case of, you need food to maintain your morale, rather than the actual health of your units. And so what would happen is if you got too low in morale, or if you started losing morale here and there, in Warband, you would just end up losing a couple of units every so often. And yeah, that would be very, very painful in the case of certain things. It wouldn't be the, it wouldn't really be the end of things. You know, you'd still be able to fight at pretty much full strength as long as you just had some units leave you. It was pretty painful to lose, I don't know, 10 Huskarls, for example. That would be pretty harsh. But I think in this case, it does make it a little bit more impactful, because morale is more... I haven't even gotten low morale, really, in Bannerlord yet, so I can't really comment too much on the morale system. But I would assume that what would happen is you will have people leaving, and that's it. You'll just have people leaving, and people will not be too pleased with you, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, but... yeah, food is very, very important in Bannerlord. Because, as I say, the morale, you know, if you are, for example, let's say you're fighting a huge amount of things in Warband and you have maximum morale, it's going to take a while, even with no food, for you to get to a point where you're going to have people leaving. And that's pretty, you know, that's pretty important, because even if you have 0 food, I've done this before in certain mods. For example, Prophecy of Pendor, I can run around with literally 0 food, because in that, once you have about 500 or so units in your army, they are going to be eating that food insanely fast because of the way that the food system works and the inventory system works in that game. But anyway, the point is that they're going to be eating you out of house and home so fast that it's going to be very difficult to maintain a supply to feed them. However, if you have a huge amount of morale and you're able to continue doing battle after battle after battle, you're never going to have to worry about morale, and as a result, you won't have to worry about food, because every single day you don't have food, you lose 3 morale. But if you continue to get, let's say you make, I don't know, let's say you get 10 morale after 3 days, which is pretty easy to do, I guess. But let's say you do that, and then you're going to be able to continue running around, and you're not going to need food, which is pretty fantastic. Anyway, Vlandia has actually declared war against us, which I am not a big fan of. So, not entirely sure how I'm supposed to deal with that now. I guess you know what? I guess what I'm going to do is, it's very difficult. You know, it's very difficult. I know that someone actually said that I should focus on Vlandia. Now, there are a variety of different ways that I can go about the whole offensive here, but I feel like Vlandia is probably not a good idea, for the sheer fact that, just look at what they have. They have these 2 castles, these castles here, these 2 towns, this castle, this town. And then you get into their home territory. So I'm going to go and I'm going to take all of these, and then I'm going to be super stretched out. That's the main issue here. I'm not consolidating my territory if I go after Vlandia. And I know what you're thinking. But why are you going after the ASERAI then? Because the ASERAI obviously are having a very, you know, far away territory as well. But the thing is that the ASERAI are basically the only ones that we can really take care of kind of easily. As you can see, the ASERAI have about the same combat strength that we do. And we might very well, if we're able to eliminate them once and for all, persuade a couple of them to join us and so on. So that's kind of what I would like to do. Botania, Khuzait, they're extremely powerful. Vlandia would be our next choice to attack, but ASERAI seems to be basically the only thing that we can really do at the moment. And Ekarand is actually attempting to take back the castle. He's actually going to be successful by the looks of things, and I would like to go and fight this army, if at all possible. So let's see if we can actually do that. There's Saruk's army. He's the guy that actually took the castle initially, and I can't believe he's actually allowing me to attack him. Can I catch him? Can I actually catch him here? I'm not entirely sure. Okay, we're gonna do that. Town taxes paid to the ruler are reduced by 5%. Town loyalty is increased by 1 per day. I'm perfectly happy with that. Don't mind disavowing it. And we're gonna hopefully catch this guy in a minute. Oh, he's actually the same speed that we are? That's disappointing. Ah, there we go. We were able to get him. Now, bear in mind that I could potentially try and persuade this guy. I don't know if he is the leader. Is he? Yes, he is. He's never going to join us. This guy is one of the few that tends to have a very, very difficult persuasion conversation, I guess you could call it. And as you can see, it is just not going to work. Not in a million years. I have no critical success. I would need to get 100% on every single one of these options, and it's just not going to work. So I guess we'll just fight him instead. It's going to be super easy to beat him, I would expect, you know. I mean, look, he's got 259. He's got a hugely deficient power level.
Warrior, move!
You know, what does the scouter say about his power level? And so on. Yes, exactly. Anyway, so we're going to go over here and we'll try and do a nice little shield wall. And we'll get our bowmen into a loose formation. Now, I love this battlefield. I think this battlefield is fantastic. This is one of my favorites because it is just so open and sweeping. But it does have that addition of having those trees and a number of other wonderful strategic points on it. And you're going to have a really, really fun time no matter what kind of army you have available to you. And that's, in my opinion, one of the best things, and indeed one of the best qualities that a battlefield can have. So I'm pretty happy with this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move my cavalry all the way up there, basically all the way up there actually. And then we'll move my infantry around about here, archers. We can actually move a little bit further. Maybe we can get them a little bit onto a height advantage. This is going to be super insane. If we're actually able to make this work, then we will be in a great position. Oh, nice. Killing a master archer was very, very good right there. Alright, so everyone's still getting into position here, and now bear in mind again, even though I have an overwhelming power level, I'm not really wanting to throw away units for nothing, you know. Throwing away units in this case, especially when we are so up against it, because obviously we now have Landia attacking us as well, certainly not going to be something that I would like to do. Unfortunately, I did run in here stupidly, so let's not have that happen. Yes, let's not have that happen. Okay, so I'm going to tell my cavalry to charge in now because we do have the enemy infantry charging into our infantry, and hopefully they'll be able to flank them relatively decently. Ooh, nice. Did you see that? Only an AI would be able to do that. That is crazy. Did you see that right there? That guy literally turned around, headshot my mount, and then killed me with his friends. That was really impressive. Gotta say that. Very, very impressive. But only an AI would be able to pull that off. You know, because let's face it, there's no way that someone, you know, a real player is going to be looking behind them at the same exact time that I'm charging at them. Well, they might. I mean, you know, who knows? But while they're shooting, probably not. But there you go. That's a wonderful victory for us. Just going to speed this up and get it done. And I think I will let go some of them because they are indeed the leader of their clan, and as I said, that's what I would be doing. So I will let this guy go because he is the leader of this clan, as you can see, and it would be quite nice to potentially have the ability to do that. Unfortunately, as you can see, his clan hates our guts like no one's business, so that might be a bit problematic. This guy will be taken prisoner again. And this guy, is he the leader of his own clan? Yes, he is. Ah, interesting, interesting. Okay, so I'll let him go. And he doesn't have a particularly good personality. The other guy that I let go has a good personality, so it might be nice for us to see what we can do with him. But let's actually just take a look. Okay, so I have a decent amount of space. I guess I will be taking quite a few units here. Because we've got to keep up the numbers, you know, that's the point. We've got to keep up the numbers, even though I don't really want to use ASERAI units. It's pretty much the only thing I can do to kind of keep us at a decent enough power level to continue recruiting prisoners again and again and again. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I can do right now. Okay, there you go. Fantastic. I shouldn't have died there, by the way. That was just, you know, complete amazement on my part. And there you go, we were able to eliminate him. So now what we're going to do is we're going to head over here, try and engage this guy, try and help out Ekerand. Hopefully he's going to be able to take the castle before this guy descends upon him, and hopefully I'll be able to get there before he potentially murders Ekerand. I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.